So, doon tayo sa problem 5, page 379. Page 379, nakita? So, dito sa page, sa problem 7, sorry, problem 7 pala, not 5. Problem 7, there are two products, East and West, which are classified as main products or the joint products. And a byproduct, South, is also a result of the joint process. Material started in process 1 at the end of which 3 products emerge. Yun nga, si East, si West, saka si South. East is further processed in process 2, while West and South are sold without additional processing. So, magkano kaya ang total joint costs? Given ang material centered in process 1 and then the processing cost in process 1 and process 2. Magkano yung total joint costs? Anyone? Wala nang kakadinig. Walang nakakadinig. O, problem 7 tayo ha. Nadidinig ba ako?
Yes po.
O, anong tanong ko? Magkano ang total joint cost sa problem number 7? Given dyan,
13,260.
Ay, nako. Bakit naging 13,260? Ano ba yung process 2? Basahin nyo nga. Material is started in process 1, at the end of which 3 products emerge. So, hanggang saan lang yung joint process? Hanggang saan lang yung joint process? Umabot ba ng process 2? Misagas.
Hindi na po, ma'am. Hindi na po.
Ano naman joint process dyan? Process 1 lang. So, magkano yung joint cost sa process 1?
10,260 po.
10,260. Yung cost na 3,000 sa process 2 ay para lang kay East, additional processing costs. So, given, doon sa next page, production and sales data of the 3 products. And then the selling and administrative expenses constitute 20% of sales of East and West and 10% of sales for South. Joint costs are allocated to joint products on relative sales value, except that the sales value of each should be reduced by its unit cost kasi nga may additional processing siya. The byproduct is not charged with any share of joint cost. Byproduct revenue is deducted from joint costs. So out of 10,260 na joint processing cost, sa process 1, mababawasan pa yun ng sales value ni byproduct C. Magkano ba yung total revenue from the sale of South? Magkano ang total revenue from the sale of South? Anyone?
200 po.
200. Revenue yon, net revenue. Yun ang kanyang sales value, pero ang ibabawas natin ay yung net revenue. Kasi mayroon siyang selling and administrative expenses na 10%. So, magkano yung net revenue from the sale of byproduct South? 10% ang selling. Ilan ang 10% ng 200?
180 po yung net revenue.
180. So kung mababawasan na 180 ang joint processing cost na 10,260, magkano ngayon yung i-allocate na joint cost kay East at West?
10,080 po.
10,080. Ano daw ang basis ng allocation? Relative sales value. Magkano ang sales value ni East? 3,000 units ang produced, 7 ang selling price, that is 21,000. No? Pero may additional processing cost siya na 3,000. So magkano ang net realizable value ni East?
18,000 po.
18,000. How about West? 2,000 units produced, selling price is 5 pesos. No additional processing cost.
10,000 po.
10. Okay. So allocate the joint cost of 10,080 based on the relative sales value of East 18,000 and the sales value of West 10,000. Magkano ngayon yung allocated cost kay East?
28,000.
Ay, naku, ano ba? 10,000 lang ang i-allocate. Bakit magiging 28,000 ang allocated cost? Pag in-allocate yung 10,000, dapat mas maliit sa bawat product. Ay, gulay. Ayan. Oh, 10,080 lang i-allocate. I-allocate. Ano ibig sabihin ng i-allocate? Paghahatiin between East and West. Ang 10,080 na joint cost. Paano nakuha ang 10,080? 10,260 ang joint processing cost sa process 1 minus 180 na net sales value ni byproduct South. O ang basis daw ay relative sales value. Ang sales value ni S ay 18,000. Si West ay 10,000. Total ay 28,000. O, magkano ngayon yung mapupunta kay East na joint cost? Alam niyo ba ibig sabihin ng allocation? Alam niyo ba ibig sabihin ng allocation? Paghahatiin, anong basihan? Yung sales value. So, paano gagamitin yung sales value? Kay East, 18,000 over 28,000 times joint cost. So, magkano yun? Mariano, garapon, parang ako hindi na-explain.
6,280 po.
Okay, so magkano kay West?
3,600 po.
Okay. So magkano ang total cost ni East? Allocated cost, 6,480 plus 3,000 additional processing cost. So,
10,480.
9,480 po.
oh Diyos ko, teka muna sandali ha. Bakit ganito yung schedule na exam? Kakayanin nyo kaya schedule na exam? Isang oras lang? Isang oras lang talaga? Isang oras? 70 items, isang oras? Magmamagic kayo? Ano to? BSBA. BSA? BSBA to. So wala pang BSA. Kulang. Oo nga naman. July 9, PSA 4A, 2-3. Ay, ano ba ito? Teka muna. Naku. Bakit wala? AE12. Anong AE12? Teka muna ha. Cost 1A. Naku, bakit isang oras lang binibigay sa inyong exam? Paano yun? Napakaikli naman nun. Aba, parang gusto nila kayo bagsak lahat, no? Last list. Cost. PSA. Cost Visayas. So, AE12 ba to? Code. Anong subject code nyo? Oh, AE22 naman to. AE22. Wala pang schedule for AE22. Alam niyo ba yung exam face-to-face? No.
Sinabi ko.
Tapos, ginagawa nila ng schedule. Tig isang oras lang. Oh my God. Nagpapatawa yata itong mga ito. Pag upo nyo, tayo agad. Isang oras lang eh. Ano? Kauupo nyo pa lang, tapos na isang oras. Baka hindi nyo pa nababasa yung buong exam, tapos na. Ay, di bali bukas nandun ako sa school. Tanungin ko mabuti. Ay, ano yan? Gulo. Bukas tanungin ko. Di pwede isang oras na exam. Pagka nga online, nangihingi sila ng schedule, kinukuha nila isang schedule para maging 2 oras. Tapos face-to-face, gawin nilang 1 oras. Papatawa. Okay, saan tayo? So, ang total cost ni is 6,480 ang allocated cost plus 3,000 additional processing cost. Total niya, divided by the number of units produced, magkano ang kanyang unit cost?
3.16 po.
3.16. How about West? Allocated cost niya, 3,600 lang. Wala siyang additional processing cost. Divided by 2,000 units. So, unit cost. Yan, tagal mag-compute. O yan, 1 oras lang kayo ha. Bilisan niyo mag-compute. Magkano unit cost niya?
0.8 po.
1.8 ha, 1.8, 3,600 divided by 2,000. Okay, gawa tayo ng income statement for East and West. Pagsamahin na natin, 3 columns, East, West, and total. So, 3 columns, East, West, total. Sales, magkano ang total sales ni East? 2,500 units sold times 7.
17,500 po.
Okay. Cost of sales, 2,500 times 3.16.
7,100 po.
Practice na mabilis. Sa 1 oras lang. 7,900. Gross margin. O wag i-add ha. Minus. Sales minus cost of sales.
9,600 po.
Okay.
9.6 po.
9,600. Less selling and administrative expenses, 20% of sales daw. So 20% of 17,500 ay?
3.5.
Okay, net income for East.
6,100 po.
Okay, let's go to West. Sales, 1,700 times 5. Ay, ano na? 8,500. Cost of sales, 1,700 times 1.80 per unit.
3,060.
Okay, gross margin. Ano na? Gross margin.
5,440 po.
Okay, less selling and administrative expenses, 20% of the selling price. 20% of 8,500.
1,088.
1,000.
10% of 8, 20% pala. 20% of 8,500, 1,088.
7 pala.
10% yun, 850 yun, ha? 1,700. O net income for West.
3,740 po.
Okay, 3,740. So, kuhanin nyo na lang ang total, ha? So, again, pagka sinabing cost product cost, yung allocated joint cost plus additional processing cost kung meron, ha? That would be the total product cost. Okay, let's go to, nakuha na natin yung multiple choice, ano? Number 1, nakuha na, na-discuss na. Oh, yes or no? Number 1, na-discuss na. Hindi pa.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, discuss. Number 2.
Na-discuss na rin po.
Oh, paano na-discuss yung number 2? Anong ginawa doon sa sales value ni byproduct Z? Sa number 2. Anong ginawa doon? Ay, naku. Anong ginawa doon si sales value? Baka naman ibang section ang sinasabi mo, ha? No, nakalista sa akin yung mga dinidiscuss ko. Okay. Ano, na-discuss hindi?
Opo. Ma'am,
Na-discuss
nasabi niyo na po yung sagot. Letter
O,
D
sinabi
po.
ko ang sagot. Letter D, 168. O, paano nakuha yung 168,000? Ha? Paano nakuha yung 168,000? Sige nga.
262,000 po minus 10,000 po. Yung sa ano po ng Z.
O, di mali. Dapat 262 minus 10,000. So, the total cost, joint cost na i-allocate would be 252,000 only. 252,000 only. And the basis is the sales value. So, number 3 is similar to number 2. The joint cost in number 3 is 54,000. And then, the process also yields byproduct C. Net realizable value of product C is subtracted from joint production cost of K and W. So, magkano i-allocate na joint cost kay K at W?
50,000 po.
Okay, bakit 50,000? Magkano minus?
4,000 po.
4,000, which is the net realizable value. Ano? So, you allocate that on the basis of the market values of K and W. So, for K, that would be 40,000 over 75,000 times 50,000. And the allocated cost would be 26,667. Okay, let's go to number 6. Sa number 6, ang question, using the sales value at split off method. So, kunin agad natin yung sales value at split off. No. So, si product J, ang sales value at split off ay 15,000. Si product K, sales value at split off is 10,000. So, total is 25,000. If the allocated joint cost to product J was 9,000, what is the total joint cost? So, how will you solve that? Get the percentage of allocation to J. So, 15,000 over the total 25,000, how many percent of the joint cost would be allocated to J?
60% po.
Okay,
60%.
60%. So, if 9,000 is equivalent to 60%, how much is the total joint cost?
15,000 po.
Okay, 15,000. Next, yung problem 7 and 8 ay, ano na to? Decision making na to ha, decision making. So, this is whether to sell the products at split of point, no? So, kung ano lumabas, ay ibebenta na siya or an option to process the products further na tataas yung sales value pero syempre mayroong additional processing costs o yung separable cost na tinatawag. So, ang Dinidetermine dito ay ang relevant cost, tsaka yung magkano ba yung madadagdag na revenue. So sa question number 7, the relevant unit cost for a decision to sell product C as is. Lagyan nyo ng word na as is yun, or ibig sabihin at split of point. Or to process it further is. So ang titignan dyan, the relevant cost would be the separable cost of 8,000 kay product A. So 8,000 divided by 2,000 units, the relevant unit cost would be 4 pesos per unit. Sa decision naman on what product should be subject to further processing, compare the sales value at split off with the sales value if it is processed further. So for example, product X. From 25,000, magiging 42,000 pagka may further processing, but the company will incur a separable cost of 9,000. So the net revenue, additional revenue from further processing would be, magkano? 17 minus 8, 17 minus 9 ay 8,000. Iyon yung magiging madadagdag sa income. Kay Y naman, from 41,000 to 45,000, an increase of 4,000 in the sales revenue. But the company will incur separable cost of 7,000, so lugi pa, lugi pa ng 3,000. Kay product Z naman, an increase of 8,000 in the revenue, but separable costs equal 8,000 also. So walang madadagdag sa income. So which of the 3 products should be subject to additional processing? Yung product na may pinakamalaking additional net revenue. So that is product 1. Hoy, anong product? Product X. Kasi si Y, lugi pa. Si Z naman, walang madadagdag sa net revenue, 0. Okay, number 11. Number 11, ha? Yung doon sa chapter 10 na binigay ko sa inyo mga sagot, wala ba kayong mga question doon? Nasagot ba lahat? Nakuha? Kung paano nakuha yung sagot? Ha? Oh, yun na. Nasagot nyo lahat yun? O dinedma lang? Hindi tinignan? O walang magsasabi kung nasagot lahat?
Hindi pa po tapos.
Hanggang ngayon? Ako ilang araw na yan. Hindi pa rin tapos. Masyado yata kayong busy. So kung meron kayong hindi maintindihan doon, ilista nyo yung number. After we have discussed lahat ng topics, babalikan natin yun. So ganun din ang gagawin ko dito sa chapter 12. Hindi lahat ng problems ay i-discuss. Then, papadala ko sa inyo ang sagot. You try to determine kung paano nag-arrive doon. Pero kung wala kayong pakialam at hindi nyo gagawin, nasa sa inyo na yun, ha? No. So, sa ganung paraan, nakikita ko na matututo kayo. No? Dahil ganun ang ginawa sa amin noon. Sa amin noon, di kami dinidiscuss. No, walang discussion talaga. Bahala kang umintindi kung ano yung nasa libro at gawin mo yung problems. Bahala ka. Walang discussion. Okay, next. So, sa problem 11, there are 4 products, but the 4th product, JJB, is a byproduct. No. Paano daw ang accounting for the revenue from the byproduct? The byproduct revenue is credited to the sales account. Process costs are apportioned on a relative sales value approach. So the processing costs, 24,000 for materials, 28,000 for conversion cost. Magkano ang total joint cost? Magkano yung total joint cost sa problem 11? Ay, nako, walang magsalita. Ano ba? Walang magsalita. Di ba ako nadidinig?
2,000.
Nadidinig. 52,000. Ima-minus ba ang revenue from the byproduct na 2,000 units times 1 peso sales value per kilo pala. Ima-minus ba yon? 2,000 ang total sales value ni byproduct JJD. Ano? Hoy, ano na? Ima-minus ba yon from the 52,000? Wala marunong sumagot? Wala makapag-analyze? Or anyone, Mr. Perez, ima-minus ba yung 2,000 from 52,000?
Hindi po.
Bakit?
Kasi po sabi, credited sa sales revenue po.
Okay, so 52,000 ang i-allocate na joint cost. The basis is relative sales value. So kunin mo na ang sales value ni JKA o magkano ang sales value ni JKA?
44,000 po.
Okay, si B,
30,000 po.
okay, si C. Okay, total sales value. Okay, so magkano ngayon yung allocated cost kay A? Magkano ngayon yung allocated cost kay A?
22,880 po.
Okay, and then, ang question ay cost per kilogram. So you divide 22,880 by 4,000 kilos. So magkano?
5.7.
Ito po.
5.72. So the same procedure would be followed for products B and C. Okay, next. The wood company produces 3 joint products. The joint cost is 100,000. 2 of these products were processed further. So ano yung dalawang iyon? A, with additional processing cost of 200,000. And C, with additional processing cost of 100,000. The first question, if the net realizable value method is used, how much of the joint cost would be allocated to product C? Assume that B is accounted for as a joint product. So lahat na yan ay joint products daw. Using relative sales value, magkano ang i-allocate kay product C? Magkano ba ang relative sales value ni A? Magkano ang relative sales value ni A? Ay, nako, sumagot kayo at wala nang oras.
$245,000 po.
Okay. Bakit? Pagka relative sales value, you deduct additional costs, whether selling or processing costs. So 45,000 only. Kay B, wala siyang additional cost, so 30,000. Kay C naman, 175 minus 100, 75,000. So total ay ilan? 150,000. So for C, that would be 75,000 over 150,000 times total joint cost of 100,000. So magkano ang allocated cost kay C?
50,000.
Okay, 50,000. Number 13. Assume B is a byproduct whose sales value is credited to joint production costs. If net realizable value is used, how much of the joint cost would be allocated to product C? So kung i-deduct yung sales value ni B na 30,000 from the total joint cost, The remaining amount to be allocated is 70,000. And then the basis of allocation, relative sales value, again, kay A ay 45,000, kay C ay 75,000. So magkano lahat yon? 120. So magkano ma-allocate na joint cost kay C?
$43,750.
Okay, 43,750. 75 over 120 times 70,000. Number 14, if joint costs are allocated based on relative weight of the output, how much of the joint cost would be allocated to A? All products are joint products. That is the assumption. So the weight, A, B, and C, ilan ang total ng weight?
500,000.
Okay, so kay A is 300 over 500. That is equivalent to 60%. So 60% of the joint cost of 100,000, how much would be allocated to A?
60,000.
Okay, 60,000. And if we determine the allocation to B and C, pareho silang 20%, 100 over 500. Kay B and C would be 20,000 pareho. Okay? Next. Number 15. Ano ba ito number 15 na to? Next two products, A and B, they are initially processed from the same materials. And then after split off, further processed separately. Additional information is as follows. You're given the final sales value. And then the joint cost prior to split off. Ibig sabihin, yun ang i-allocate na joint cost, 6,600. And then cost beyond split off o yung further processing costs o yung additional processing cost na tawag. Ang total ay 6,000, 3,000 each for A and B. Using the net realizable value approach, compute the assigned joint cost of A and B respectively. So, anong unang gagawin? Determine the net realizable value. Again, paano pag-determine ang net realizable value? The final sales value minus costs incurred bago narating yung sales value na yun. So, for A, that would be 9,000 minus 3,000 or 6,000. And then for B, 6,000 over 3,000, 3,000. Total sales value, 9,000. So kung yung i-allocate na joint cost ay 6,600, magkano ang ma-allocate kay A?
4,400 po.
And then yung balance ay kay B, 2,200. Okay, next. Sandali lang ha. Number 15, 1A. Okay. Pagka nag-end to, hindi ko na yan, ha? Sa Friday na yung byproducts. The accounting for byproducts. Please read the accounting for byproducts. Yung byproducts are treated as additional sales revenue or as a deduction from cost of sales or as other income. And then, meron parang tinatawag na reversal method. No, pakibasa yun ha. That is on page 367. May category 1 at category 2 kayo dyan ha. Andyan yung procedure. So that would be discussed po on Friday. Okay, one more problem. What is that? Number 16. Lego Plastics has two joint products, ABA and ADA, and uses the net realizable value method of allocating joint costs. The total for the year, bakit na 2016 na naman yan, amounted to 300,000. During the year, additional processing costs after split co were 160,000 for ABA and 240,000 for ADA. Lego produced 16 units of ABA and 8,000 units of ADA during the year. The selling price for ABA 20, for ADA 30. The portion of joint costs allocated to ADA during the year is Justin Jade. How do you read your surname? Justin Jade. Oh, Pinky. O, sige. Solve mo nga number 16. The method to be used is net realizable value. The